Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody.
What is up?
Welcome to the 224th Recovery Freedom Rising podcast. I'm Milan Starcic with the Bob C twins, co-hosts Andrew, Normand, and Brandi S. That's right. This is an unplanned action where. That's right. And just before I introduce the topic, don't you have something to do with this brand? And how could people find this, Andrew?
I do. Faith for all individuals that hustle. You can go to Instagram. You can look us up at faithhustlesports.com. All one word, faithhustlesports.com. Come look us up, man. Come tap in.
It's got a variety of great stuff. Really does.
Let's get in there, everybody.
We can make custom stuff, all that shit. Yeah, we got.
Yeah, this
everything.
I picked up the colors and everything.
This is the pink lemonade jank. This is the pink lemonade jank.
We got the opposite, but it's the same thing.
I love you guys, man. So yeah, look us up on Instagram or whatever, man. You want me to introduce the topic, Mr. Milan?
Yeah, you might as well. Let's
do it. Let's do it. So this topic, wow, this topic saved my life. If you want to break it down, just for today, living just for today, one day at a time. When I really started thinking about it, became everything to me at first, because when I thought about my life, like, I couldn't live clean for a year. Like, when I thought about it, I couldn't live clean for like a month, right? I couldn't stay clean for a few days, but when I broke it down and I was really, really desperate, I could wrap my brain around staying clean for one day, for 24 hours. I feel like it doesn't matter what position I was in, I could hold on for 24 hours regardless. Like, I could hold on with one arm and not fall into the pit for 24 hours, right? If I was going to save my life. And that became really, really important for me, just hanging on for one day. And then it kind of broke down into, like, sometimes it had to be 5 minutes, holding on for 5 minutes, but that's where, like, these meetings come in, and it's like, if you can get to that meeting or home group or whatever that meets every day, or if you can just get back to that 24-hour period, whatever that period can be for you, and you can wake up clean, it's really, really special, because you rack a couple of these days along, Brandi, you start getting weeks and start getting months, and you start getting your life back before you know it. And so when I think about this term, the topic in general, like, before I got here, like, time was my enemy. I lived in all of this shit that we talk about, like that regret of all that shit I had done, and fear of all the shit that's coming up that I don't want to face, all these obsessive thoughts that I have, I'll keep it on me, that I have about what might happen, shame about the shit that's already happened. Like, I never lived in today. It was more of a that survival thing we talk about. It was a panic mode survival that I was living in, right? I never really could live in a serene, happy, joyous and free day. Like, I couldn't just do that, right? There was always something that needed for that to happen. And I never was at rest. I never had a mind at rest. Right? I was always racing around. Everything was temporary, right? Like, I thought I was doing it, but when I think about it, everything I was doing was temporary, including, like, the drugs. The drugs stopped working eventually. Like, everything was temporary. And so I come in here and y'all are like, look, just sit down and just get you a 90 and 90, right? Like, talk about, like, 90 and 90 days. Like, something's going to happen if you can get to 90 meetings in 90 days. Just hold on one day at a time. Like, there's a lot of these little slogans that really wrap around this whole notion that we're talking about here, because it's very, very important early on, for me at least, that I really didn't have to worry about staying clean and dying clean. Like if I can stay clean today, You know, my literature tells me that that's an absolute freaking miracle if I can stay clean for one day as an addict. And so let's get some miracles roped together. I got 3 or 4 miracles roped together, and let's get a little proud of ourselves here.
Yeah.
You know, like let's pump ourselves up, and then, like I said, before you know it, man, you get a couple weeks and years together, you start tasting food for what it really tastes like, and seeing those colors again, and like waking up and having a full night's rest. We don't know what that full night's rest like to the next day. We can kind of simplify this thing. It's a way for me early to really simplify this thing, and I needed that early. I needed that so bad. So that's my intro. I love you guys, man.
I love you.
Faith, let's go. Love you, Brandi. What does that mean to you?
Man, this topic I do love because it's a huge one. Like it was, of course, like very before I came to the program, I was like, yeah, just for today, like it was kind of like outside of recovery mocked a little bit, like because I didn't understand the importance of it, and like Andrew was saying, like sometimes I have to take it 5 minutes, and especially in the beginning, it would just be I just won't, let me just get through this and not use. And but before I came into recovery, because I would do that quite a bit, but I didn't look at it as just for today or just for the moment. Um, when I came into recovery, I held on to that idea of like, okay, just for today. Like when I got to treatment on day one, I was okay, I'm just going to be here today. And it really helped me just be in the present, and using drugs for so long. Um, like I didn't, it was scary to think about doing life without using. And I couldn't help but to like think ahead. Like, I hate the fact that I don't like that saying I'm never going to use again. You don't want to say that because it's a just for today program. My heart and soul want to say it, but I know that this is just for today. And but it keeps me present, keeps me right here. I don't have to try to fix everything right now and today. I can just be in the present today. And when it comes to, I am a big former future tripper. I can still feel future trip sometimes, of course, but I think about like, well, how am I going to stay clean forever? Well, when you say it like that, it can sound intimidating. And so, and like, like the media, like there's the 90/90 seems like a lot. Well, what is it like? Just do one meeting a day and the 90 would take care of itself.
Bro, 100 meetings in 100 days. I was like, bro, y'all are absolutely fucking nuts.
And you did more than that in 90 days. That. I thought about the same thing, and I did way more.
I lived in meetings, bro.
Yeah. So it's like just to be able to focus on just for today is huge because everything changes in recovery. It has to change. Because I don't know about you guys, but I came here with a lot of bad decisions and a lot of bad ways of thinking I'm doing things and failed attempts to try to get my life together. So if I can just like Andrew's saying, focus on not using just for today. And I go to bed clean, I wake up clean, and then I'm just for tomorrow, and in the moment tomorrow. So it's a big one. It's so simple words that carry me, like I definitely am grateful for those kind of things that like I love a good slogan too. I love how one day you're not just like saying them to somebody, you're living them and they like become part of a sentence. Sometimes my brain's like, that was recovery. and so yeah. So but it's a great day to be just for today. And I gotta say, what was it? I love this, Andrew. You said like if you got 1 foot in yesterday and 1 foot in tomorrow, you're pissing today.
All over today, bro.
I mean, that right there
straddled.
Just explains,
I call it straddled.
Yeah,
you're being straddled.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of just for today. I even told my husband, which he kind of like he listens most of the time when I talk recovery because I talk a lot of recovery. And I got a good like, oh, that's good from him when I said that to him. I was like, oh, Thomas likes it.
Attaboy? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, here we go. His normie brain, he got it.
Alien.
I'll leave it there though. I do love this topic because it gets me through a day.
Oh yeah.
Man, great to be here with you guys. What a great way to start a Friday. Not that I get weekends in my job, but it's like, the great start to and the whole concept of just for today and one day at a time, God, it drove me freaking nuts when people said that when I first arrived. I'm 100% honest. Like I
Okay.
showed up I showed up in such a overwhelmed and anxious state. Like I wasn't living today and tomorrow. Like I felt like I was trying to plan the next fucking 6 months unsuccessfully all
Yeah.
the time. And literally just piled up baggage of 37 years of bad decisions and a lifetime of wreckage behind me. And so when people were trying to narrow my focus to the immediate 24 hours, you know it was the first step away from that wreckage and away from those, like, imaginary terrors of the future that
Yeah.
like. And what I hear this all the time, but uh worry is praying for bad things to happen, right? Like,
Yep.
and so it wasn't, though, really until I started to explore the concept of a conscious contact with my higher power that I saw the immense, gosh, I want to say necessity for living presently. Like if that is the source of our power and that is the source of my serenity and my contentment and my peace, then it's a must,
Yeah.
and so I I want to say that the one day at a time for me has come just even further to the necessity for presence, like for living in that present moment. Because man, I could still future trip about this afternoon, and it
Hmm.
still takes me away from now and creates that anxiousness, that discontent feeling for me. And so, you know, um, and then also on this journey for loving completely, right, is that love can only be expressed right now. Like you can't bank love for tomorrow. You can't have yesterday's love now. And so it's, when you're giving somebody your full, undivided heart and attention without the distractions of yesterday's shame and guilt and tomorrow's fear and anxiety, like how warm and powerful does that feel when that happens, right? And it
Hmm.
only happens in the now. Like, um, I want to say that, I really, I really feel that there was hope inside my program, and that hope turned to faith. And now I would like to be as crazy to say as that faith has turned to knowledge. And if I run my program in the same way tomorrow, I have a pretty good chance of being
Yeah.
straight through tomorrow. Like
Get you some.
I refuse to for all of recovery to live in a fear-based mode like that. Like,
Yeah.
and when, like, I'm not saying something tragic couldn't happen. I'm not saying that there couldn't be a surprise in life. That is not my point. But my point is that if I'm given the opportunity to make the choice in the morning to start my program and to execute it in the morning, there's a good chance by lunch I'm still straight. And if I get to go to the meetings that I go to in the afternoon and come out of that and do the work and, end my day with my step 10 and what I'm doing, there's a good chance I'm going to bed straight,
Yeah.
and I do think that we have to talk about faith and love as well as fear in this podcast, because it's like one of the things I just read this morning, and it's so amazing, man, is like, like fear and love are mutually exclusive. You cannot actually have both at the same time. And if you are acting out of fear, but calling it love to someone, it's actually an act of dishonesty and selfishness to yourself.
Mm.
And it's something that, man, I was talking with my mom while we walked this morning, and it certainly for me, it's that I want to be coming from a place of love. And I love my program. I love my freedom. And And I want that love to not be minimized also. Okay. I love you guys. I'm ready for the questions.
Love you more,
it.
man. Love you more, man. All right. You ready, Brand Dizzle?
Yep.
All right. So why is just for today so necessary for your recovery?
Because, just for today is necessary for my recovery for the fact that I planned so much, like I said before, when I came into the when I before I came to the rooms, I planned so much to get clean, to stop using drugs. Like and I would always think about like, well, how am I gonna get through this or get through that if I don't use? And so it was I always just thought ahead on I planned even the bad. So when I came in these rooms and it's like, this just for today thing, uh like we were talking about, like it became simplified in my mind that like I don't have to worry about how I'm going to get through tomorrow. I don't have to worry about how in 10 years from now how it's going to affect me. Uh like I don't have to worry about that. I just have to worry about today, right now, just for today. And like we were talking about, I think it's important to be able to take that just for a minute, just for 5 minutes. Like it can be used in any time that you need, as long as it's in that day, of course. But so to me, it's super essential because I will start to overthink. I'm a control freak, right? Like I want to control my future. I want to control what my life will be like in 5 years from now. And like life happens in recovery. We go through traumatic experiences. We lose people, and those are it's even a more essential time. Because there's things it's hard to even think of getting through. Well, I'm going to get through this just for today, and there's so many other things that go with it that I think when I struggle and I think in a just for today mode, I have to play a tape all the way through at the same time. Like, well, what if I don't do just for today and I overthink it, and then I don't know, I'm like running around feral in recovery. It's not working for me. I can't do that. So it helps me a little bit in my control. Like, okay, well, that's all I can do is control today. Like yesterday's gone, tomorrow's not here. The only power I have over is today. And it's important to remember that. And it's important to don't be hard on yourself if you are overthinking for tomorrow. Just remember, like bring it back to the simpleness of just for today. So I today, and I will always, this program, like we're not cured, right? We don't like get a certificate at the end of anything. So these tools are
We
important
don't?
today. We don't.
Hold
I
on. Hold on.
know. I know. Right? So it's just as important today as it is day one, and it will be just as important, in 10 years. Because like when I made the decision to pick up again, and mind you, I always have to say this because I picked up my DOC and I wasn't clean, right? I just stopped using a certain drug for a long time. But when I picked it up, it was spur of the moment, To me, I thought it was. I know today now that there was a lot more to it. Uh, and that's where like the just for today comes in. Like I can, instead of letting things pile up on how I'm feeling, just let it be in the frame of just for today. And I wish I had thought about that before I picked up, 10 years ago. Just for today, I won't do that. But look where it got me though, at the same time, like I kind of had to run my life through hell for 10 years to be who I am today. And just for today is a huge, huge part of it. And it's still essential in my life and in my recovery. And like the steps you can just for today on anything that you struggle with, really. So I'll leave it right there.
Free Dell. Love you
You know,
so much.
you
Love
wouldn't
you.
you wouldn't be the empress of adhesives or an international
Right.
podcaster.
That's
Like your
right.
life
As
would
I'm
be so
working on a
different.
sticker right now.
The Empress of Adhesives. Oh my God. Oh my, the Empress of Adhesives.
I like
That's
that.
beautiful. I love that
Yes,
shit,
I
bro.
know. That is good.
And and you hit on something good. You said that Feral in Recovery. That's a new podcast topic. Feral in
I
Recovery, man.
know,
Let me
Yeah.
right?
know.
Yeah.
I love when people talk about that. It brings it home. And I know this question is a little redundant because we kind of get it started, but Mr. Milan, Why is this phrase just for today so necessary for you in your recovery today?
You know, part of what, like, you know, my day right now is definitely trying to work on surrender, love, and forgiveness, right? And I am still very apt to being able to just go sideways into anxiety, you know, and when I can like finally recognize it instead of just feeling it, like you ever have it where it's just like something's taking hold of you and you're going sideways and you don't even have the insight to go, whoa, whoa, I'm feeling anxious.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm just doing things and I'm like, and then finally I'm like, whoa, 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 what the fuck is going on here? Like, and,
Yeah.
and I step back and for me now, like I know that anxiety is in the future. You know, like I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
I am not here now, you know? And I try to pull out of that. I try to, you know, um, I try to pray some gratitudes right at that moment. That is one of my most effective things. Also, too, I'll find for
Yeah.
myself, you know, if I have the time and ability, I'll go for a walk. Like just getting my blood flowing and connecting with my body. You know, I've got a good friend in the program, and for her, it's like one of the things that stops her from tripping. It was her first sponsor said to her, she's like, everything you do with your hands, be grateful for. And it's almost like
Yeah.
you're just like this series. Like, how often are you not using your hands for something? You know, like even like, whoa, I'm
Man.
putting my hand down to support my arm. Thank you, hand, for supporting my arm. You know,
Yeah.
oh, my head would still be itchy if I didn't have a hand. You know, like it's one of those things though, where when she said that, because she was like, I was just crippled with anxiety. And she's like, and the only thing that could break that was something that was just like a constant sensation that I had to take my awareness to bring her to the
Yep.
present, you know? And that's one of the reasons why they say to focus on your breath. Because, you know, like if you don't think about your breath, it's such an automatic thing. Remember what 10 breaths ago was like. Try.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Wow,
have fun
yeah.
with that, right? So it's like actually thinking of the sensation of each breath as it happens because it's a unique experience every time.
I
And
love that.
I love that, man.
yeah, and so you know, like for me, without the just for today, or just that reminder of presence and coming back to here, right? I would be trapped. I would still be in the prison that I was in when I got here. You know, like that ability to surrender, to start trying to bring in love, you know.
Mm.
And in one of the that new pair of glasses that I'm listening to now, that guy Chuck C, it's like what he does is like he has a completely unorthodox program in that all he does is try to be of service to everybody and everything every moment. And when you do that, you have to be in the moment because you're
Yeah.
literally like looking for what you can do in this moment to be of service. And so you're like chopping the ego's head off and actually just putting your thought and your heart into the action of love. Because what's that thing you say about service, Andrew? It's a
What service
that
is the posture of the
posture.
heart? Yeah,
That's
the
right.
posture of the heart. It keeps you clean.
That's right. So it's like, man, you just like are turning your heart on with service. And how can it
Equals
not bring
love.
you back to the present, man?
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Posture of
feel
the heart
that.
equals love, man.
And that's it for me, but I love you guys.
I
And
love you
Love you
more.
guys.
Love you,
woo,
bro. So here's my answer. Why is just for today necessary for me in my recovery? Hashtag LLA. So
Mm.
y'all knocked it out the park. It's necessary for me because as I think about it, my disease lives in those extremes of time. You know, I will push any like time constraint or any scheduled time or anything in my life. I'll pull that. I'll put it to the extreme one way or another to create some kind of strife in my life. I've talked about this before. Like I'll be a little bit late to work almost every day just to see if somebody talks to me. you know, and it's my disease, man. That's my disease in full force living, you know, it's my disease coming out now that I'm clean, right? And it's showing itself. And I'm even working on it and talking about it on a podcast and still can't do it right. That's okay. That's okay, right? It's part of my
Yeah,
process. It's part of
that's
my
it.
thing,
Awareness,
right?
man. It's
Yeah,
awareness
yeah,
is the first
yeah,
step.
totally. And like
Yeah.
me and her are like besties. Like I have conquered that. Like she loves me. I still just like do a little throw up in my mouth, you know, every time, but I've got that shit figured out, and I'm so stoked. But now I got to move. So here we go on that. Anyways, so just for today, talking about living, you know, my disease lives in those time constraints and extremes, right? And before I came into recovery, I could not live in the now, right? It was not about now. My mind was constantly either replaying what I had done. I got to get more drugs. Like there was always something going on. I was never living like in the present moment and being like grateful and all that shit that we talk about, right? And I was always replaying shit like a broken record, man, in my head. And so and like the result of all that was always like an overwhelming emotional something, right? Like despair, trying to escape something, running from somebody, doing something, whatever it was. Never healthy. And so now I like when I come into recovery in this phrase, as I think about it now, um, it takes all these impossible tasks of the day and all these impossible things that I feel like I can't deal with or get through. And it shrinks it down to like a size that I can carry.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I can do that for a day, for 24 hours. Like I can carry that load. It makes it just mentally, it makes it feasible to me for that for a day, right? Like I can't do this thing. I can't even really do it for right now, but you tell me like if I can just do it for one day, like it seems like a smaller, like even a one day sounds like smaller than 10 minutes sometimes for me.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's strange. It's like that 24-hour period, but if like 30 minutes is a long time sometimes.
Yeah. Right. I feel that.
Like I've sat there and like that clock does not tick, and it's like 30 minutes has felt like hours. But it's like if I can get through a day, right? It seems like just get to the next day. Like get to this meeting tomorrow,
Yeah.
and you'll survive. That seems like I can do that, right? Like I could sleep for 24 hours and get to you tomorrow if I had to. And I've said that before. Like if you feel like using, you know, our boy John, just go to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Just go to
Look, and
sleep.
if it does, and you'll wake up clean, it doesn't have to be at midnight. You don't have to go to sleep at your
Yeah.
scheduled time.
Reset.
Go
Reset.
go to sleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon if you have to. Adults take adult naps, right? Like you'll wake up clean.
I do.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Um, so that kind of layers into it, but this is a principle that like it protects me from myself, Brandy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I think in terms of like never again or like always, my disease gets loud AF, bro. If I start talking about doing something for the rest of my life, my disease goes because what'd you just say? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
What are you
Right.
talking about? Hold on, we need to talk about this, bro. And you know, so it's like I can't do that, right? But the awareness comes in. I'm aware that I can't think in those terms, right? So that's where this thing comes in for me. Is very important to me that I can break this thing down into just for today, and it's about
Mm-hmm.
progress, not perfection, right? That's what it kind of breaks down to me. It gives me the permission to progress in my life and not be perfect like I always thought I was having to be every day or like in the situation or whatever, right? So it's also super necessary because it's like where my higher power meets me. Um, when I think about like prayer and all this stuff that we do, we can't I can't pray for like for yesterday's stuff, right? Like prayer is always right now. Um, so today's the only place where like prayer works, right? Like today and like surrender is possible right now. Today I can't surrender yesterday.
Yeah. I'm praying for tomorrow.
I
This
can't
is
pray
tomorrow's
yesterday.
prayer.
I can't pray yesterday for today right now, right? So that's where like just for today, just for right now is super super important, and it takes precedence in my mind, right, over everything. And so it becomes a practical thing for me. You know, it's like a practical on paper now keeps me clean in those difficult moments because I'm just trying. It's just another part of my day. This is part of my like
Mm-hmm.
to get to tomorrow. I can't get that so much overwhelmed. Like I don't give a fuck what's going on. I cannot pick up today no matter what, regardless. Right.
Yeah.
I could probably hold my breath for 24 hours if I had to stay alive. Right. Like I think about it like that. Like I can do anything I needed to survive the next day. So that's my answer.
Yeah.
I love you guys, man.
Love that.
I love it. Love it. I was thinking too when you were saying it, like, like the just for today, when, like it's in that moment of like, oh, I'm going to use, okay, but just for today, I'm not. I think also for me, I can look at it for like, not always like in a desperate, like 911 just for today, but like, I'm like, my disease will be like, well, when you're old, you could probably use like, and like and my brain has done that before plenty of times. Like, well, like when you're old, it will be okay. It's not
Yeah.
like and no, just for today. Like I can't plan my future, and I definitely don't want my disease planning it. That's for sure. And so that's when it's like I remember this just for today because I want to have just for today forever. I don't want to be like, well, this is the day, you know.
Yeah. You're
24 hours is
checking
the
out
world
old
record.
age homes. You're like, do you guys
All
serve
right.
jib with lunch?
Right.
Yeah. And 24 hours is the world
Right.
record, guys. Like if you
But
woke
you
up
think
before
about
me,
it,
you have more clean time than me today. It's not about that.
yeah, that's true. But you think about it, like, why would my brain even think that? Like, I'm so happy in recovery that what makes my brain think that, like, well, when you're old, this will make you really happy,
That's the addiction
And
going, I'm
that's,
still hiding in your
yeah,
bones.
yeah,
That's your like
right?
old little bit of addict that's still holding on. Like, hey, don't forget me. Like I'm back.
Yeah, yeah. So I got to
I'll
shut that shit
always
down.
be here
We're
waiting.
besties. We're besties. I got your favorite ice cream in the corner.
Yeah, I know that bitch.
Yep. We'll make s'mores. We'll make s'mores together. Come on.
So funny, so funny.
Love y'all,
Okay,
man.
Milan, I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
I love you guys. Okay, how do you bring yourself back or how do you bring yourself back to today when your mind wants to a future trip?
Ooh, first of all, I like awareness, like I said, it's like I might not even realize I'm doing it until I get to a highly discontented feeling
Mm.
inside myself.
Oh, it froze.
But when I do,
Oh,
you're not you're not allowed to do that anymore. Like I literally will be like, no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. Like that's not okay. And I pray gratitudes.
hopefully
I
pumps right through it.
exercise. I'll seek service. Well, am I freezing up?
A
You
little bit, but
were,
you're
you
good.
were,
You're pumping
you're
through it. You're
back.
good. Keep pumping.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, seeking exercise, praying some gratitudes,
You're,
and to definitely trying to find some. We got a
you're breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up bad,
real
bro.
big windstorm
Oh,
here. I got a feeling to do with that. Yeah.
I love
You can
you,
ask Andrew now.
Milan. Yep.
I love
Go
you.
ahead and ask me now, Brandy.
Okay, all right, all right. How do you bring yourself back to today when your mind wants the future trip?
That's a great question. When I want a future trip, the first thing I try to do is um, I look at it as like a warning sign, right? That just tripped me all out. That whole thing just tripped me out. That was fun. I was future tripping is not a character flaw for me anymore. Like it used to be something that really bogged me down. Now I kind of look at it as a warning sign. I try to get better at it. When my mind starts racing and shit, it usually means I'm afraid about something, Brandy.
Hmm.
Like I'm scared. Something's going on in there when I can't just stay present. I hope he's still here. So instead of like judging myself like for that kind of shit, I treat it as a warning sign and a signal to come back and get back right with myself. Um, I name it. I try to name it, whatever it is.
Mm.
Whatever that thing that I try to put my finger on it and try to place it at that moment. And naming it will pull me out of the story and back to like the awareness part of it. Like if I can put my finger on it, and I can actually name it. And then I try to ask myself a couple things. Yes, he is here. What's up? Instead of what is actually required for me today is kind of one of those things I kind of ask myself. Not like what's required for me tomorrow, not was what required for me yesterday, but like what is required for me right now in that situation. But it's about staying present too, Brandy. You know, I try, like, if I have to, I'll pray. You know, if I pray, I pray for his for his will to help me out in that situation as he sees fit. You know, if you see fit, like, help me to wrap my brain around why I'm not dealing with this properly right now.
Mhm.
Um, and then I try to, I don't know, like we've talked about, break it down into just for like right now. Like sometimes you got to break it down into just for this next 5 minutes. Um, and I don't need to know how everything turns out. Like I only need to stay clean through the moment and do the right thing, and then it will work out regardless, right? As long as I stay clean, do the right thing, you know, goodwill, trying to make, you know, staying of service, and not try to hurt somebody. As long as I'm not hurting somebody and I'm doing the right thing, I'm staying honest and I'm loving, bro. It's all gonna work out. I don't care what's going
Mhm.
on, right? Like, I kind of think that answered the question. That whole thing kind of tripped me up. We'll pass that. I love
Yeah,
you. I have
you
no
guys
idea what's
did
It's
going
both.
a
You
on
guys
right
did
now.
good.
massive windstorm here, dude. And
Is
it's
it?
just,
Oh
yeah,
man.
I
You're
think
back.
it's causing some instability.
Yep.
Yes.
You said it. You said
Yep.
it. Okay, well, I'll answer my question. Okay, Brandy, how do you bring yourself back to today when your mind wants a future trip?
Burrito.
And it's like uh a big thing is like you had said like to acknowledge it. I like how you said name it because I don't think to do that, but I hear people say it and I'm like, that's what I need to do is I need to name it. But to be able to acknowledge something because like in the moment of like the beginning of a future trip, it's like a tornado. And I have to be able to like find that center and realize, okay, like this is I don't want this, I don't want to spiral. I don't want to, overthink something or like I'm a big to-do list person, but sometimes my to-do lists get to me. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I'm not gonna do this today because I don't have to do everything today. And but it makes my just for day more manageable, because I can easily forget that I live a just for today program and the importance of it. I can just say it till I'm blue in the face, but like to live it, to do it that way. So it's easy for me uh to try to like frolic into anxiety or like what if? But what if? I could what if myself to the end. And so yeah, being present and praying and stopping, stopping what I'm doing. And I would say like, yeah, I think I said here one day like ignorance is bliss, and I think Milan said ignorance is piss. Or one of you guys said that, and I think about that because as much as I'm super grateful to be able to acknowledge things because that is really where the work starts, and a lot of things for me is acknowledging it, and I'm gonna try to start naming it because I like that, and but it's like also it's like sometimes it was like, oh, I've acknowledged that now. I'm gonna have to work on it. I gotta work on it now. I can't not work on it. And that's like
Cat's
the
out the
beautiful
bag.
thing, right? Exactly. And that's the beautiful thing, like even like when you were saying, Andrew, I don't even know if it answers my question, but it made me just kind of think like, when we're having a hard time with something or if we're feeling a certain way about somebody, like how we turn and look at ourselves and like, well, am I lacking something? Is this something that I want? Like, am I and I think that like being in this program and being in recovery and just, recovery is working on yourself, being able to see that kind of stuff because I didn't see any of that stuff when I was using. Like if I was, shaming somebody in my head, like a mom, like, oh, they got kids, I can't believe they're using as I just came out of the bathroom. And so it's like to be able to yeah, focus on myself, but also don't I can't think about tomorrow too much because you can't stay clean after yesterday's shower, right? So I had to
Facts.
keep today on just for today and reminding myself of that. And I know that I did it wrong for so many years before I came into these rooms. So when I feel myself getting out of the just for today and I need to bring myself back to today, that's the new way I do things. If it doesn't matter if it was day one or day, however many I have, it's like I need to remember like how I did it for years and I know the feeling of like my spirit when it starts to get out of today. So I need to remember, like, wait, I could almost see how this would go if I didn't sit here and acknowledge and be like, let me just bring it back. Let me just bring it back to today and focus on, like what's right in front of me. I don't need to focus too much on what's, 10 steps away from me. So, but it can be hard for sure. Even on days that don't like have triggers or anything. Like I'm super, I don't know, I think I'm OCD. I do think a lot about what I'm going to do next. Like I actually, I narrate in my own head, okay, now you're going to get coffee. You're going to get his water and now you're going to feed the dog. Like that's what my brain sounds like. And I could easily go further than what's right in front of me. So I have to kind of bring it back because I work best if I stay on that path of, one thing at a time just for today, one day at a time. If I try to do too much, that's where all the other emotions kind of get stuck in there and I'm out of just for today. So I'll leave it right there.
Brandy said, back the thing up. Brandy
That's
said, back
right.
that
That's
thing
right. That's right.
up. You got to unmute, sir.
One thing for me, my brain will kind of go like exactly like you were saying there, Brandy. Am I glitching or am I clear?
Nope, you're good. You're good, man.
No, you were just muted, but no.
You
Oh,
just
right when you
glitched.
said that, then you glitched.
You just glitched. You might want to go video off, man. I
And
don't know what's going on, man.
I find song while I'm doing something.
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes, come on. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay,
Hell
so
yeah.
let's do that. I'll just put my video on when I'm not talking.
Much better,
Okay,
bro.
I'm going to start with reading something here that I read this morning because I think it's relevant. Fear can be overwhelming and debilitating. It distorts our perception of reality and leaves us in an anxious state of immobilization. When we find ourselves irritated, depressed, angry, or ill, we can be sure fear is at the source. We erroneously believe that the fears of the past can successfully predict the fears of the future. As a result, we spend most of our time worrying about both the past and the future, creating a vicious cycle of fear, which leaves little room for living in the present. Fear and love are mutually exclusive emotions. They cannot be experienced at the same time. In the final analysis, it is our choice as to which of these emotions we project upon those around us. And that's my favorite part of it. Which of these emotions we project on those around us because we're actually just projecting that fear or love. Okay, so I'm going to get into this question. Sorry for hijacking that for a minute, but I just was so overwhelmed by the awesomeness of that.
I needed to hear that, bro.
Okay, so AA's 12 by 12 notes that we are granted a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. How are you intentionally surrendering your ego today to ensure that the freedom rising in your heart remains unobstructed? Andrew.
Wow. Yeah, that's tough. That's a work in progress trying to surrender that ego, man. I got a big ego. What does ego do? It just got out. We already know. We already know it's huge. And bro, it's really hard for me to get out of my own way. The more I pray, the easier that part comes. I live in, when I pray, when I can pray, push, pray until something happens, has really helped me relieve that part of it. But bro, I still get wrapped up, Brandy. I still have issues. I'm dealing with some right now. I don't think that's ever going to change. I don't think it's ever going to change, but like I can stay working on it. I can stay talking to my people. I can admit when I'm having a problem with something, which that's hard for me to do too. Like it's really, really hard for me to admit when I'm wrong. And then, when I act out of place, like it's hard for me to come back from that. Right. And like, as an addict, like I just I could beat myself down really, really, really easy and really, really bad too. Like really tough. I'm trying to figure out the word, but I can get really nasty with myself. And then I don't want to talk to anybody, man. Then I don't want to talk to anybody. And that's not me. And we had the thing in our group chat yesterday, Brandy, like for me. And sometimes I feel like I always have to, show this face, right? Show a certain face, show a certain way, like be in a certain mood. and I'm really having a
Mm,
problem. Like, there's meeting, like, I don't want to be the cheerleader every meeting, right? And then I start feeling bad. I'll start like getting down on myself because I'm like laying in my bed listening to the meeting and I'm not all into it like I normally am. And then I'll be beating myself up like I'm doing something wrong or something,
mm,
and that's not right. Like we're not going to be on 100 every day. Like sometimes we're not going to be all into it. That's why we have other trusted servants and service members to like do those things, right? Like the meeting's going to be okay if I'm not fucking knee deep in it all the time.
yeah.
I gotta understand that, and then I gotta be able to pull back too, like on other things. Like I got other service commitments to other home groups and things. Like, and I, it's time for me to pull back. Like I have to pull back in certain ways so that I can move forward in my life outside of NA. Like, yeah, staying clean must come first, but bro, like a service online in a Zoom home, like in a Zoom meeting, to not be able to move forward in my life, like that's detrimental to me,
Mm,
overall, for me and my progress.
Balance.
So,
yeah.
so I have to, and I've started that process this past week, just putting it out there that I'm kind of backing up on some things, and it's made me feel better. It's made me feel better. It's kind of lightened the load for me. So I don't even know if that answered the question, but I love you guys. Man. I love y'all.
I thought that was beautiful, man. I love you so
I love
much.
Yeah,
you.
yeah, man.
I gotta just say, like, and I especially as I love it when you get vulnerable. Like we can talk about stuff here, but when we talk about uncomfortable things, they're like are we can't deny, but we know how we are, and it's like it's to share them is freeing, but it's like slowly ripping a band-aid off, at the same
Yeah,
time. And I've had to do the same thing with service. Like
yeah,
I used to be all up and loud, and I have backed up a little bit. And then I have, obviously cut my days down and I try not to take up service if I don't have to because I got to
yeah,
have a balance. It's
yeah, man.
so important. Although, like I think for our recovery is our world, but like you got to live your life at the same time too, and
Yeah.
and let other
Yeah.
people do it. I have the same feeling. Like I feel like that when I don't go to the meeting, like, oh my God, is it gonna be okay? Fuck yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like, is it going to
okay.
start on time? Yeah,
Yeah,
someone's going to
yeah.
start it. It's not going to start. It's going to start for every year
Yeah,
for 4 years. Like every year, like, yeah, it's going to
yeah.
start.
So I
Come
I
on, man.
totally feel you on that, and I think it's a good thing. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Love you.
Hmm.
Love you.
Okay, Brand. The AA's 12 by 12 notes that we are granted a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. How are you intentionally surrendering your ego today to ensure that the freedom rising in your heart remains unobstructed?
Such great questions. I think that like Andrew was saying, I wanted to say when you were talking, like put down the bat, and pick up the
Mm.
feather. And a lot of that, man, my ego can get in my way. Like I don't want, it took a long time for me to really talk about things in my life that didn't involve drugs and alcohol. Because like in my mind, I'm like, this is I'm not here to complain about my pain, but it affects me. And so instead of trying to mask and like, oh, I live this perfect life because I'm clean, everything's perfect. It's not true. Like I feel this stuff now, I feel it. And I have to be able to, like I just said, I got to get out of my own way and be more vulnerable with myself and kind to myself over things that will allow me to grow in my recovery. And you never know. Like there's so many times I've talked in a meeting and someone's like, and especially when it's like some crazy thing about my leg, they're like me too. I'm like, no way. Like the other day when I was like, I oddly smell cigarette smoke, right? How many people said me too? I thought I was losing my mind.
He
And
thought you were the
I
one unicorn in the
I
world.
did. It's got to be allergies. I don't know. And
Yeah, like
I never say anything.
25% of the media said, "Me too."
I
Yeah, yeah, I said
know.
it too.
I know because I was like, well, I don't want to say anything because
Tell
I
them a lot
sound
what you're talking
crazy.
about. Tell them a lot what you're talking about.
Every once in a while, it'll go on for months and then it will go away for months. I smell. It's like I'm in a room full of smoke. Like it takes my breath away. Like I
And
have a
nobody
struggle to
smoked anywhere near
talk.
her.
Nobody smoked near me at all.
Isn't that
It's
like
just
a hard thing, though? They say like you smell burnt toast or something if you're stroking out.
Well, I asked my doctor and she's like, I don't know if I've ever heard of that. I think it's like burnt popcorn, my husband was
Okay.
saying. But burnt whatever, baby.
Yeah.
But it is like being in a car where with 4 people and everybody's smoking a cigarette.
That's wild.
It is wild.
Though,
And my
like
doctor's like, I don't know.
when I got sick there with that pneumonia and it filled up my lungs and I could taste the drugs and the cigarettes for a few days, and like it was days. Like
You could
maybe
taste
there's
it?
just shit still dissolving in your lungs.
Well, there was
That
somebody
could
else in the
be.
meeting. Their mother, I think it was Candace's mother, had never smoked cigarettes before, and she deals with it too.
Oh,
And yeah, so it's like, and I'll be like at my pastor's house dusting, and I smell it. So I thought it was like somebody in my apartment is smoking. Like I got this super super smell
crazy.
now, and so I told my husband next time I'm gonna take allergy medicine when I feel like it's gonna happen, or when it starts. Maybe so because I've tried to see when it happens if there's anything related.
Yeah.
So
Wow. That's crazy.
it's crazy. But if I hadn't shared that. And I like kept it in because I felt like silly about it because online, because I did Google it.
You'd still be
They
like,
said
damn,
it
what's
could,
wrong with me? What's wrong with me? No,
right? They said, it could be hallucination. And I'm like, am I hallucinating? No. I mean, I
Am
would
I
love
still
to smoke
clean?
cigarettes.
Am I still
Yeah,
clean right
right?
now?
Right?
What's going on?
Right? This is more than a dream, right? But like it's stuff like that it's to be able to get out of my own way and just share something that obviously is running through my head a lot, and being able to share it with someone else and not think about what someone's going to say, because we're not perfect in recovery. Not at all. I'm not. I'll say me. I know I'm not at all. I'm clean and I'm so grateful for that.
Beg to differ.
But you're right. Well, maybe some. But it's like I'm learning today. I'm still learning. And if I let my ego run things, I'm not going to be open to learning how to do something different, and how to like, okay, I stayed clean yesterday, so I want to be able to stay clean today. So I need to learn to kind of do the same thing and to watch out for things that get in the way, because you don't have to be like an egotistical, like, I don't know, when you picture somebody like that, like to have your ego get in your way. It can be, and like any bit of even self-doubt, like, well, I'm not gonna, I don't want anybody to think anything of me, and oh, they're not gonna like this share, so I'm just not gonna say it. So I think it's important. It's super important. And like I said, it took a long time for me to open up about more than just my, drug addiction, because in my recovery, it affects all angles of my life. And so I need to make sure I share about it. I mean, I could be TMI. I share about my colonoscopy, not in detail, but
you're not screen sharing photos of the journey within.
You can cut
Mind
this
blown
out if
emoji.
you want, okay? You cut this out if you want. The doctor gave me the pictures of my colon. It was so clean. I was like, I'm gonna give these to my husband.
Ooh.
Woo!
Come on, man.
Oh no, there ain't no chopping that out.
Let's go. We real up in her.
Right. Okay,
you,
that's my
Brandy.
answer. I end with that one.
Okay.
I love you guys.
Woo! Okay, so I'm going to turn my video off in case I start glitching, just because it
Gotcha.
still has been glitching watching. Okay, so how have I intentionally been surrendering my ego today to ensure that the freedom rising in my heart remains unobstructed? Well, one of the things I do and have at my kitchen table is my Harry God box.
Ooh, we ain't talked about him in a while.
I put stuff in there, I pulled it, it got kind of pushed to the shelf. I wasn't using it a lot. And then I'm like, why am I not using this? Because for me, it is really one of the ways where it's like no touchy, like
Yeah.
like if I put it in there's no touching it. And also I feel that the journey that I'm on right now, looking at surrender and love and fear inside this two-way prayer book, is showing me that there's a lot more going on with my ego than I thought originally. And a big part of that is in cherry picking service and actually just trying to be helpful for the sake of others. And the more that I can do that, the more I feel free all the time, you know, and trying to make moments about others. And, you know, I think that the instant ego defense is like, oh, I don't want to be taken advantage of. And it's like, but you're not if you're the one deciding to do it. You know, if you're the one who's actually seeking the service, there's nobody taking advantage of you. Like you're actually getting the privilege to help other people and to remain free. And so for me, I feel like it's just coming from a bunch of different directions at once, but it's about eliminating fear, increasing service, and connecting through love and acts of love with other people. You know, and there's been plenty of opportunity in the last couple of weeks helping other people where, quite frankly, I didn't want to in the beginning. You know, like it wasn't convenient for me. I was comfortable doing what I was doing. And like, and then I'm like, oh, inside myself, man, there's a little voice. That's the true call of service. It's not when not when I'm like, well, watch me chair this meeting. Hey, everybody, I'm a great chair.
When you don't want to do it.
Yeah. It's like when it's on the side of the road and the guy in the dark at the base.
Yeah.
Ball back, that kind of crazy stuff. Yeah. Okay. So that's my answer to that. Andrew, you got.
I do. You ready, Brandizzle?
Yep.
What happens when you stop living one day at a time? What happens?
Man, that was my life before I came into these rooms. I was living one high at a time, that's for sure. And if I don't live just for today, you know, one day at a time, I'm gonna go back to the way I was completely. You know, if I don't surrender, what happens if I stop surrendering throughout the day? You know, it's gonna be it's my my ultimately my disease is going to run the show. It's gonna take the wheel, if it's not right away, but definitely, you know, in the little acts throughout my day. And that's when I start thinking about when I'm old, I can use, you know, like when I'm, you know, like see when people say, well, I've been clean long enough, like I can do this, you know, that's the kind of stuff that will creep in, even if I'm thinking about, you know, years down the road, if I'm not staying with the just for today, it's like it runs amok, you know. I can't stay in like the acknowledgement of something or you know doing the next right thing. Like none of that stuff happens if I don't have my just for today is my surrender, you know, because it's something that I got to do all day. So imagine not doing it. I just know that at one point it would be back to the way I was, where I would be more self-centered and I would definitely allow my control issues to flourish. And I don't want that because they're hard to hold back. And so it's important because like if you think about it, like what my days were like before I came into this Just for Today program, you know, it was fueled by things that weren't for other people, you know, not for the good of stuff. It was for what was for me, like, you know, one pure thought really of what I wanted, but the ultimate selfishness. So if I don't stay in it, like I know that's just how it will go. I'll think about like what nursing home am I gonna go into? You know, like I don't need to think about that today. I don't need to think about like what car my son's gonna drive in a couple years and but all of that can add so much anxiety. They seem like simple topics because they are, but you really start to overthink things. For me, I overthink every movement I have if I'm not keeping myself you know, elevated or leveled, should I say, with the just for today. You know, the just for right now, the just for doesn't have to be just for 10 years. You know, can you imagine if this was a just for we said just for a year program? You know, just for a year, you got to worry about it. Like those over
Just for
364 days.
eternity.
Yeah, just for
Just
eternity.
for forever.
Yeah, like how it would be so overwhelming. everything would be overwhelming. And not that life isn't overwhelming in a Just for Today program. It is, but we have that tool, and to not use it, it's a shame. It can be easily like, I think that I mean, I got the importance of it when I first came in here, but like I didn't like have to lean on that Just for Today right away because I was in treatment, which was a beautiful thing. But it was like when it was like sometimes that's all I have. I couldn't imagine getting through whatever moment that was without knowing that it was just for today. It can be scary. I didn't know, before I came in here, like I didn't know what tomorrow was going to be like. I didn't know what the moment was going to be like. I could try to plan it, but my whole world was constantly upside down, leveled, upside down, leveled. And and that's what it's like for me to not stay in a Just for Today mindset. Because it's what it is. It's like we have a choice to stay in this Just for Today. If we choose not to, I don't think we have as many choices. And if we do, it's almost like, like the fray of a wire that's just all over the place. At least that's how it is for my brain. Like I think that this program that we works in a lot of different ways for me, and my mental state, how my mindset is, how I think about things. And I'm so grateful for that because I'm also ADHD. So like you put a little bit of that in there and yeah, there's squirrels all over the place. So when I say Just for Today, there's just one that I see. I don't know if they answered it, but I like the scroll comment, so I'll leave it
No,
there.
I'm going to go ahead and make the executive decision and say that there's no answer that me or Milan can give that would be better than that. And so we're going to move right through the next question.
Okay, tune in next episode for
Milan, what happens, bruh, when you stop living one day at a time? What happens?
Ooh, man, when I'm not living presently, I get itchy, bitchy, twitchy. Am I glitchy?
No.
Okay, good. Great.
I thought you were just rhyming still.
But it felt like a good place to ask about it.
It was good, yeah.
But it's like all of a sudden that calm and that peace is just gone from my heart, and it's like there is no kind of surrendered. There is no kind of loving. There's no kind of honest. And it's like either I'm connected or I'm not. There's no kind of connected. Like I just feel like the overwhelming kiss of the universe or nothing, and that nothing instantly leaves me by myself. Like when they say that the opposite of addiction is connection, but it really is like, because that connection to the universe or to the people around me with love, when that is severed, I am instantly alone. And I'm not even just instantly alone. I'm instantly alone thinking about myself. Like it quickly becomes all about me. I have this happen all the time with sponsees when we're talking and like I know when stuff's going sideways, when it becomes like me, and I'm like, okay, so let's talk about the percentage of thoughts of yourself. Like I'm like, I'm like, there's something going on here. I'm like, what kind of service you got planned for today? Well, I don't got time now. And I'm like, okay, let's see, we're right here. And so, yeah, for me, my life without living presently is just a place I don't want to be in the past, and it's not like this all the time. I'm not living some golden clouded life, but I certainly had 35 minutes of victory this morning walking my dogs in that sunrise.
Let's go.
There was like, it was shifting and so beautiful. And there was just like, I was like, whatever, I just having fun, laughing with my mom, walking backwards, walking sideways, looking at it. Like, I feel like the sunrise is like the northern lights of the morning. And
you and the universe were one, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, and it's just amazing. I hope that answered it, and if not, well,
Hell
I
yeah,
love you.
dude.
I
Hell yeah,
love you
dude.
anyway.
It made me tingle, man. It made me tingle. I love you so much, bro. So what happens to me, Andrew, when I stop living one day at a time? Love what y'all said. As I think about it, you know, it's like a slow creep into like everything feels bigger than it actually is. Like it starts feeling that way. Like if I like everything is a little bit more massive and more grand scale than it actually is when I start thinking outside of that. You know, just for today mindset. Um, I'll start thinking in terms of like always and never. You know, like what ifs. I
Hmm.
start hitting myself like with the what ifs. Like I can't keep this up forever kind of thing. You know, stuff like that. And those thoughts like don't really reflect what's really going on. Like it's not reality. It's more like a loss of perspective as I think about it. And that's when like fear and anxiety can take over, man. Fear. What does fear stand for? Future events already ruined. I ain't hit y'all with that in a while. You know, but I can either face everything and recover, or f everything and run. Right? It's one of those things where like fear and anxiety will take over. Right? And if I'm not working a program, I could be in trouble. You know, I can lose relationships. I can lose potentially my life if I start using again. You never know, man. You never know. So without that whole one day at a time thing, like uh, fear gets a microphone.
Oh, I like that. So true.
Thinking about
Fear
fear
gets
gets
a
a
microphone.
microphone. I gotta write that down too
Yeah.
because I just thought
You
about
do.
that.
That's
I gotta.
good.
I
That's really
I come
good.
up with things and I gotta write things down. Fear
Yeah.
becomes a microphone. So that's what happens. Fear gets a microphone, right? And I start worrying about things that haven't even happened and things that won't
Yeah.
happen. You know, all this trust and shit gets replaced by anxiety. Um, you know, and then I get out of whack, right? Like instead of trusting the process, I try to control outcomes instead of trusting the process. That's what happens when fear gets a microphone. I start controlling outcomes instead of trusting the process, man. And that's where I can't be there. I can't be there because then what happens? I lose connection spiritually, right? And our
Yeah.
whole goal here is to remain spiritually buff, right? And connected, like based on that spiritual conditioning, based on how spiritual I am, you know, that's where I get all the magic, right? So when I leave like the day, when I leave a place where like my higher power meets me, because like I've said before, like right now, today, this just for today, this is where I meet my higher power. I'm not meeting him yesterday, right? So like when I'm leaving that vehicle, prayer becomes shallow, right? It's not what it is for me. Um, it's not as powerful. It's not as all encompassing as it is every time when I make it that way. And so, got to stay connected. Got to stay consciously connected in the present moment. If I'm not present, I'm not talking to anybody. But like
Yeah.
the air, right? And that's where these spiritual principles that we try to live by, like try to work into our lives, like become more fluid. And that's where we talk about putting them into motion, right? They become actual real things I can put into my life and actually can roll and rock with that. So that's my answer. I love you guys, man.
I love
So
it.
much, so much. I love y'all so much.
That was beautiful. Simply beautiful, brother.
I love you.
Simply beautiful. Yep.
Please.
All right. Swan, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could leave one message about just for today, for the newcomer, what would it be?
What's the question?
If
You
you
can
could
leave
leave a
one
message, one
message.
message
Ooh.
of just for today for the newcomer, what would it be?
Hmm.
Breathe and come to the present moment and stay there as often as possible. I would say, because for me, it really is, about being right here, right now. Even smaller than a day, it's about right now. Because without that, I don't feel my connection to love or to the universe. And and like I said, man, I can be tripping about this afternoon at 12:01. like, and that's
Yeah.
still not being in the present moment. Like the secret sauce for me was learning that the conscious contact only happens in the present moment and that love only happens in the present moment. And so it's really just trying to surrender in this very moment. Like I went to a neurologist before my back surgery, and I was in constant pain, and no drugs they had were working or whatever. And he did this thing with his hand and his mouth and distracted me. And he says, "Okay, did you feel pain in those 5 seconds?" And I said, "No." He said, "Okay, so let's try to work on 6 seconds. Let's try to build that up to a minute." But it was about bringing me present and not just like my anticipation of the pain, letting the pain exist and letting the pain get my attention. So, like that's which we focus on becomes greater. And I'm going to leave that there. I love you guys.
I love it.
It's
That
beautiful,
was a
man.
good
That's
question.
awesome. That's beautiful. That is a good question.
That was a
Got
drop
my
the mic
mind,
question.
got my
Yeah.
mind going crazy. I
Right?
forgot it already. It's so
I'm
profound. I
gonna,
already
don't
forgot.
worry. I'm here. I'm gonna tell you again, okay?
What is
All
it?
right.
What is it?
If you could leave one message about just for today, for a newcomer, what would it be?
I so I started thinking about it like because it'll roll to this thing I've been talking about. God lives in today. Meet him here. Right?
Mm,
Like that's what I would say. Like if like your let's say higher power, like your higher power lives in today. So meet him here. And just stay focused on that, right? Like that's really what I wanted to say. Like you don't have to figure out your life now, right? We don't have to worry about these lofty goals of being clean and dying clean, right? I just have to stay tapped into today, into what I have going on today, and like regardless of the outcome, like everything's gonna be okay. But I got to give my all to right now and today, right? If I'm focused on all this other stuff, right? Like I've said this before, like no amount of like anxiety is going to change tomorrow and like what we're all worried about, right? Like and no amount of fear and like shame is going to change all the shit we've done in the past, but like any amount of gratitude will change like right now. So like if I
mm.
can remain grateful, um it's going to work out. So yeah, I would say let's say God or higher power, let's say I don't know, because I don't want to say God, and you got to have some kind of higher power, but I would just say, connection. God is love. Love lives in the present moment. So meet Him, meet it here. Is kind of like what I would say. That's it. Love
Love
you.
it. I love it.
Ooh,
Yeah. I love the questions that are like, what would you say to a newcomer? Because
Hmm.
like it brings me back to like, opening my eyes up in treatment. Like, what?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
hard to absorb anything anybody
Like what
says,
the
but it's all
fuck is
good
going on
stuff.
right now?
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we hear, you hear it all, but like you don't really, for me, I didn't understand it or live it until the more I got into my recovery.
mm-hmm.
But I'm
Yeah.
grateful I heard it. Okay, so if I could leave one message about just for today for newcomer, what would it be? I wrote a couple things down, of course, because I figured I would be stumped myself. I put here, feelings won't kill you. You don't have to escape today. And like I like to think about that when it comes to like, this is just right now. So like when it's hard and feelings are too much and like just shrink it down. Shrink it down to just right now. Just these like next 5 minutes just for today because it will pass. We may be struggling, but time still ticks. So, we don't have to try to fix everything or escape everything at the same time. Let's just bring it back to right now. I know as we're all all newcomers in our own way, but like newcomer, um, it's so scary. So just don't think about how scary tomorrow's gonna be. Just bring it down to what right now. And it's that mind, like just even if you have to, for me, like in the way I narrate myself, like okay, just for today, just right now, I'm just gonna do this one little thing, and I'm gonna do this other one little thing, and I'm gonna get done with these five little things, and I'm gonna do them clean. And and a lot of times, like for me when I do stuff like that, I kind of lose the thought of what I was, obsessing about, of like, if I want to use, if I want to eat sugar, I do that all week, man. I tell myself all week, you just wait till Friday, Brandy. Just wait till Friday.
Get you
This
some
is
ice cream.
yeah.
Get you some ice cream. Yeah.
You do it all
It's
day
ice
Friday
cream
or just
day.
Friday night?
She's eating ice cream right
No,
now.
I get ice cream on the weekends, and so I
No,
don't eat
but
it all
like,
week.
but do you get it from Friday morning or do you wait till Friday
I
afternoon?
wait till night. I wait till night
Okay,
because I eat
okay.
it. Me and my husband
Could be
eat ice cream
bogged down
together.
during the day,
Well, I'm
boy.
just asking
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like I'm like tomorrow's one of my freedom days, and I'm like,
Look at
yeah.
her face. Look at her
I'm
face, Milan.
starting with
Look at her
breakfast.
face. Look at that
Yeah,
face,
I'm
Milan.
so
She's so
excited.
excited, bro.
I'm so
I
excited.
love
I've
that.
lost 14 pounds though.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, Brand.
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's
right?
go.
Woo!
I've lost
Let's go,
14
young
pounds.
lady.
Who knew? Who knew
Proud of
I was
you.
eating so bad? And
Proud
so,
of
but
you.
it's my little bit of goal, like it's
Mm,
so, and I get through my moments during the week, because I let, food, I became obsessed with food. Like I'm
mm.
a stay-at-home disabled mom that's got grown kids. So like I get
Yeah.
bored
Yeah.
and so food is easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
easy. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna
And you're
make
not
that,
going to hop on a treadmill after to like wear it out. Like you got to be really conscious about what you eat.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah, yeah. And I've actually been doing arm workouts, you
Ooh, I
know.
could tell. I could tell.
So,
Ooh, them guns. You give out tickets to that
because
gun show?
it's
You've
heavy.
been working out.
You better
You've
sell
been
tickets.
working out.
You
Yeah.
better give out tickets.
But
I
stuff
got
like that, like I got to get through those moments because I know I want my, I don't want to say end goal because I'm not trying to look at tomorrow, but like what I'm working towards. And I think like when
Yeah.
you are stuck if you got to, think about that just for today, like just for right now, I'm working towards this next 5 minutes. And so I think, feelings are big, especially, and they're always big, but like especially when when you're feeling them for the first time when you get clean.
yeah,
And just know that like these don't last forever, you
yeah.
know. Tomorrow's here and right now, or tomorrow's here and right now. Today's here and right now, and tomorrow's tomorrow. And I'm so surprised that you didn't say, Andrew, to the newcomer that if you're got one leg in yesterday and one leg in tomorrow, you're pissing on today. Like
I
that should
well,
be
retroly
yeah,
speaking, that yeah, that's what I would say. Let's
yeah,
put it there. That's
yeah. But it's all like, it these things pass, and you just hold on, and you'll get through it, you know?
Mhm.
I
Every deep breath is 5 more seconds of freedom.
Yes.
look, and our feelings won't kill us, but our actions will.
Yeah,
Boom.
yes, yes, yes,
Boom,
yes.
done.
So true. That's my
Are
answer.
you ready for a question, Andrew?
Born, sir.
Living Clean emphasizes that finding beauty in the ordinary routines of a clean life, or emphasizes finding beauty in the ordinary routines of a clean life. Can you set the intention to perform your smallest daily chores with a heart of love, surrendering the need for big excitement?
Yeah,
Mm,
man, it starts with prayer for me, man. I pray every morning.
man.
I pray for every morning to see that I stay healthy. You know, the people around me. I pray for the people around me to be happy, healthy, and then I try to pray for His will. Right, it makes it a lot easier for me to not have like these grand thoughts of like what I'm going to do through the day. Like I try to stay in His will. Like if I do that, I'm not going to put too much on my plate. I'm not going to overwhelm myself. So prayer and just staying tapped into Him is very, very important to me, Milan. I mean, I could have this grand answer, but prayer has absolutely kept me right sided. And it keeps me humble. Can't get words out.
Mm.
Keeps me humble. Keeps me right sized. I don't have everything figured out. Sometimes I think I do, but prayer, yeah, prayer just helps me kind of surrender all that stuff. What do we got? Serenity comes when we trade expectations for acceptance, right? And so I gotta step 1, 2, and 3 something, right? I surrender, identify, turn it over, makes my day a lot easier. Prayer is a part of all of this.
Mm.
So quick and easy, bro. Love you.
Love
I
that.
love it.
And Brand, Living Clean emphasizes finding beauty in the ordinary routines of a clean life. Can you set the intention to perform your smallest daily chores with a heart of love, surrendering the need for big excitement?
Man, I swear this question was tailor-made for me. Because like I do the same thing every day, you know, and it's how I prefer things to be because I stay on track. But I also, not that I feel like anybody should lower their standards and things, but I had to get rid of my expectations of how things will go or how things will or how people will react, like because I get that excitement from someone else's excitement, and like not every day is going to be filled with like fireworks and you know nonstop laughing and frolicking and whatever you think is exciting. But it's like to be clean and to be able to have, you know, get through the next item on my to-do list uh is good. You know, it's a good thing. And I don't think that I was I listened to something and it was like, you know, maybe the stuff that brought me joy before is it doesn't bring me the joy anymore. So I'm not like stuck or I'm not going downhill. Maybe I just haven't found the new joy in things, you know. And so I try to look at it a little bit like that in moments because it can be a little bit redundant, like doing it over and over again. But like this is it's life. It's just what life is. Like life isn't always a party, you know, obviously for us too, but it isn't always like I was saying, fireworks. So to be able to just like I can be okay with the minimal things in life, you know, because I that's when I have to sit back and kind of realize like I'm grateful. I'm grateful for these little chores that I give myself to keep myself busy and I think about I don't know if this has to do anything to do with it, but like when it comes to like even the small things of like of other people, like I love my husband to death. We all know that, right? But I sit there and like I'm like, why didn't you put your clothes in the hamper? You put them right outside the hamper. What the heck? And I got like hampers, trashes, everything everywhere. And but then I think about like I'm just grateful to pick up his clothes. I really am, you know. And so instead of sitting here and thinking that like it's gonna go away of like, well, this is the way that to my you need to do it like this. It's okay. You know, it doesn't all have to be exactly my way or super exciting. I'm okay with just with living life and still being still so content in it that I'm happy with it. Like it makes me think about a little bit of when my son was younger and it was I think it was New Year's or something like that. And like so New Year's happened and we were just at home and then it was 12 like okay, it's bedtime and he's like, "Wait, there's no party?" Like everything is so exciting. Like, you know, this is build up to what? And I'm like, Happy New Year. And he's like, wait, I like he wanted this whole like marching band in the living room or something. I don't know what he was expecting. But he was like super disappointed. It kind of made me think about that. But it's, you know, it's I don't gotta, I get to, you know, go through life doing life. When I was using, like, of course, in the beginning, there were moments that were like exciting and right, but then it didn't. I was a slave. You know, today I choose to do the next thing, my next little, you know, whatever I have going on. And I do it because for myself or because I know it needs to be done or like the motion of life, you know, but it doesn't have to be because I'm going to get a treat at the end. Of course, I do get ice cream on the weekend, and that's why I do what I do during the week. But, you know, that's a whole nother podcast on its own. I'll leave it there. I love you guys.
I love you.
I
That
love
was
you,
awesome.
Brandism.
Woo. Okay, Milan, can I set the intention to perform my smallest daily chores with a heart of love, surrendering the need for big excitement? You know, I used to do affirmations before I like started about 4 years before I even came into the program, and this tattoo here says I'm grateful for the privilege to help and serve others. I
Mm,
start every prayer with that every morning. And the reason is because it turns a chore into a privilege, you know? And for me, you know, like my whole job is service. And but not only that, it's like your whole life is service, whether it's service to self-service or service of
yeah.
others, right? And the problem for me was my perception. You know, it was like the end of that reading, like which of those two emotions am I projecting on my surroundings, right? And am I projecting that I love to do it? Because if I don't perform a task with love, then it's like this empty, resentful thing. It's like
Yeah.
Like literally when you were talking about picking up the pants, you know what I mean? I'm like, if I'm
Yep.
not happy to pick up those pants, then it's
Yeah.
just a record of wrongs that I'm making for that
Yeah.
person. And and and,
Yes.
and I'm not saying I'm talking about me here. Like I know that we may share that, but man, I can easily start writing up that list. You know, like
Yeah.
it it's one of my most often things that I have to do in the morning to put that in the God box because it's
Mm.
just like get rid of that because you know it's not about small chores or big excitement. It's about my perception of the act. Like is it something I get to do? Is it something I have to do? Is this a privilege? You know, like that's why that word is privilege to help and serve because you know quite frankly, there's people that are gone that I'll never have the privilege to help again, you know?
Yeah.
And the people in my life right now, there's been enough death in my life to know that it's a privilege every day to be around somebody I love. You know, like it's a privilege right now for the three of us to be here. It's a
Mm-hmm.
privilege we didn't die from our drugs and that we actually got
Yeah.
to have these whole new lives. Like I will never know Junkie Andrew and Junkie Brandy, and
It's
you'll
Yeah.
crazy.
never know Junkie me. Like
Yeah.
we know, but
I
I
thought about
certainly
that.
know Recovery Warrior Andrew and like Princess Warrior Brandy, you know, like and that's all that I'm gonna know. And that's a
Yeah.
privilege, man. And
Yeah.
like however I can be helpful to you guys, I hope you never hesitate to reach out, you know? Like because I feel that the further I'm in this, it's love and service, you know?
Yeah.
That's
I love
beautiful.
that
Milan, I've thought a
privilege.
lot
Yeah.
about that. I've thought a lot about it's kind of funny you say that, but I've never really talked about it or tried to process it. But I've thought about both of y'all in your active disease. Like
Yeah.
we think about other people
Mm,
and you just think about them. And I've thought about like what Milan in his disease would be. And I don't
woo,
not like us hanging out, but I think about like you at a party going crazy.
mm,
Like I've just thought about that before. It's kind of
Mm.
yeah.
wild. It's kind of wild. And then what was Brandy's nickname you had for her? Like adhesive, the princess of adhesives or some shit. What was that?
The Empress of Adhesives.
Yeah.
Oh,
Empress.
Empress of
Empress of adhesive.
adhesives.
I know. You guys
Oh,
want to see? This
Oh,
is
that's
a
the.
glow in the
woo,
Hold
dark.
on. Oh, hold on.
yeah.
Hold
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I think Andrew and I are
mine's in my
ultimately
car.
twinning.
Oh, look at that. Yeah,
Oh,
you guys are
on.
like the
Hey.
positive, negative, like the black and white.
But
that's
your
great.
nickname is the EOA,
The
Empress of adhesives.
EOA.
EOA. I
Woo!
Woo!
like
Come
it.
on, man. Let's go. It's the principal's
I
office.
love it.
EOA. Let's go. Um, I love you so much, man. I love you so much. Where we
I
at?
love you guys.
Do I have to ask a question?
Yeah, we're at you got to go at quarter two.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we're at pretty much 5 minutes in answer for
I'm
everybody do
asking a
one more.
question. I'm
Okay,
asking a
All
question. So,
right.
what actually, see, what does one day, no, I don't want to ask that one because it's the last question. I want to ask this one. This is the one I want to ask. What, what promise do I make to myself today? What promise do you make to yourself today going forward,
Oh,
Brandon?
that's good. That's really
Yep.
good. Man, I promised to myself that I'm gonna stay just for today and that I'm gonna be kind to myself and that I'm gonna, not be hard on myself, not give myself too much to do. Like I'm not about lowering expectations, but maybe I don't have to have any. I don't have to have expectations throughout the day. Uh, I'm gonna promise myself that it's okay to give time. Somebody from Alabama's calling me. To give time to myself. Like it's okay for me to maybe not do a to-do list. So I promise myself today to be kind. Don't be hard on myself and to stay in my recovery, but at the same time, it's okay to do nothing. I have a hard time doing nothing. So I think today I would promise myself that I'm gonna just for today try to do nothing. Maybe I'll put the paper towels away because they're sitting over there. But
You won't do it. You won't do it.
no, I know I'm
I
horrible. I'm
love you so.
horrible. My
I
brain's like,
love
do
you.
it, do it. I love that question though.
Yeah. Yeah, great. All right, you ready, Milan? This is
I'm
the final
100% ready.
question. This is where we're going to take it home. What promise do you make to yourself today? What promise do you make yourself today?
Oof. Gosh, I don't know if I'd make any promises.
Stay
Whoa.
clean.
Well, I mean, I feel, you know what? I would say probably,
Play with bears.
well, I definitely would play with the bear if it was here.
Safely play with
Boy, this
bears.
one, I feel lightly stumped by this, but you know, if I had to say anything, I promise to run my program to the best of my ability.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Like
Huh?
that's really for me, it's like uh it's about the results of the discipline and the commitment.
Mm.
You know, like it is it is it is those days stacked up next to each other that have done that tiny little incremental growth over the time where, you know, like I honestly feel that the last 6 months have been my most growth inside myself. Maybe
Mm.
not visibly for others. Like I'm sure when I stopped looking gray
But
and
you
green,
feel it.
like my family was like, "Whoa, you look really different." And the last 6 months, they're like, "Well, your hair's curly now." Like, but
Yeah.
but the thing is, you know, I really feel for me that that discipline, that commitment, that continued surrender, that and you know, my program involves me learning. Like one of the things I realized is that I suck at reading now. Like my attention span is down,
Mm.
and my time frame for it just isn't there. But if I do 2 pages a day,
Ooh, I
like
like
it's
that.
amazing. And sometimes the 2 pages are so full of information. I'll put the bookmark back 1 page, so I have to read the second page as my first page tomorrow.
There you
Because
go.
I'm like, I need another day on that to get all
Yeah.
the information. So, you know, like for me, if I can just have the chance to run my program again every day, that's the one promise I try to make to myself.
I love that.
Beautiful. That's beautiful, man. It's beautiful, man. It kind of rolls into my answer. So what promise do I make to myself today? Hashtag LLA. Well, when I think about it, very simple. I won't abandon myself or my recovery today. You know,
Mm.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
it's very
Oh, I love
simple.
it.
I will not abandon myself or my recovery today. That promise I can make to myself. I promise to not escape my feelings, even if I'm uncomfortable, right? And I will sit with it. Um, even if I'm afraid, I'll talk about it. Even if I'm overwhelmed, um, I'll slow down instead of speeding up, try to. I don't need relief at any cost anymore, right? I'm trying to live with
Mm.
integrity today. You know, it's a big difference. And I used to just try to relieve whatever pressure I was feeling at any time during the day. And now it's about the process, man. It's about the process. It's about
Yeah.
doing the right thing and not hurting nobody, trying not to hurt anybody. If
Yeah.
I can say anything I want, I can have thoughts all I want, as long as I don't say it, as long as I don't do
Yeah.
it, right? We've talked about this before, Brandy. If y'all could hear my thoughts, bro, like I wouldn't be here
Yeah.
right now. I'd be in
Me
jail,
too. When you said it, I can have thought all day, like,
bro.
whoa,
I,
this is what I do.
I would be prosecuted to the full extent. I'd be in jail. I'd be on death row right now if you could hear my thoughts.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that that's not the case. I'm glad that I have a process of recovery. I got a God in my life. I can process those thoughts into like real actions and real things into reality. But I can't escape those feelings today, man. I can't escape my feelings. I got to promise myself that I will use the tools that y'all gave me to help keep me clean and help keep me right
Hmm.
sided. And I won't isolate. Right, I'm going to reach out instead of isolate. That's a big thing for people in recovery. And I will ask before and I'm not going to wait till it gets unmanageable to ask for help either. That's another thing I got to promise myself. I will wait till
Yeah.
the ball drops to act. And that's where like the whole um, procrastination turns into like being deadly for me. Like, it's just like this whole
Yeah.
process can go from like sugar to shit quick. And so,
sugar to shit quick.
bro, it goes from sugar to
That's
shit
good.
quick.
Shit
bro.
sugar.
Yeah,
That's
bro,
some
I'm
shit
telling
sugar
you,
you're talking.
I don't want that sugar.
It's going from
We
zero to
got
hero
some shit
like
sugar.
hell. I'm telling you. So, I also
No
got to promise
poopsicles.
myself, I need to promise compassion for myself too and other people, right? And not demand perfection, right? I'm not going to measure my worth by my productivity, right? Or my outcomes. And I don't need approval from anybody else. I don't got to prove myself to be here. I hit on that in the chat the other day. Like, this is not a ranked system where I don't have to prove myself to have like a certain amount of worth to be here, bro. I just need to want to be here, and so
we all paid our price to be here.
All paid our price. And most importantly, I promised myself I will not decide anything about my future based on how I feel today.
Yes, I like that.
I'm going to drop the mic on that one. I will not decide anything about my future based on how I feel today, because feelings change, bro. Recovery works. This is a day. This is not my whole life. This is just for today, man. Just for today. As long as I do it right today,
worked for decades. It's worked for decades.
For hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people.
It's So yeah.
Tried and
so
true,
our
bro.
feelings aren't what guide are not what make it,
Literature
they change
based around it. It all works, bro. Yep. You know what I mean? Like take this you cannot take this program and like put it up into your life. You got to take your life and like throw that shit into the program, bro.
Yeah, I love
That's what it's about, man. So love you guys, man. It's the only way it's gonna work.
Oh man, that was amazing. Ben, you want to say anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, I love you guys so much. I love everybody that listens and to our shenanigans, and I hope somebody gets something out of it for sure. And just for today, let's do it just for today, you guys.
That's right. There's only one time. Milan. What's that?
Love's time.
Tell them.
That's right. Love's the only one with it. So tune in next episode for more recovery love. Bye-bye, everybody. We love you. Please help us help others. If you've liked what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.